I clammed up because I felt like I couldn't talk about the things that were going on with me. I was too embarrassed and ashamed, and felt like I had to, in order to get out of it, and for people close to me, well, unfortunately, the people close to me just have not always been the most understanding, mostly, family. In order for them to understand, I had to fix the situation myself, which I did. Well, I did with the help of my ex-wife, who thankfully is, still here, still my roommate, and we're doing great. Still, financial difficulties, but that's normal. But okay, to go into what happened this past year. My ex-boyfriend, who cheated on me with my ex-wife, and decided to run away with her, and invited me to come live with them in this crazy situation over in Tampa. I, of course, would have said no, but I had a new job, and my ex-wife was going to go with my kids over there, and I couldn't just let her do that. So I went to make sure everything was going to be okay with the kids. I went with a good deal of money over there to make sure, and I had to make sure I let nobody know, at least for a while, that I had it. That way, if I needed to make a quick escape, a quick getaway, I could. But things didn't go as planned. I found a job first over there, so I ended up moving over there first. And my ex-wife got into a little fight with the guy, and decided that she, was not sure about if she was still going to do it, which surprised me because I was already over there, and they had seemed so sure, and that's why I went over there. And then, this was like just a course of a week, though. I mean, it wasn't like I was there for months and months before. This all happened very fast. And she did end up coming, because she had already put money into the house over there, and they kind of kept going with their relationship, and everything was fine between them to get started with this whole crazy plan that they had over here in Tampa. And so that left me with them there, living with them. I had my own room, of course, and my kids had their own room. And see, I don't even know where to go with this, because it's like the situation was just so fucked up. So I feel like in order to move on, I kind of need to tell this situation and put it out there. Yeah, so it was really difficult for me living there with them, having been intimate with both of them, and that kind of broke me once. And then this guy, who, even though he was cheating on me, he had always been a pretty big strength for me as far as with my transition and kind of understanding. And I used to tell him about some of the things that I was dealing with the kids and the ex-wife and things like that, because we had problems before, and she had we had been friends for a good while, but then for some reason it was like it was too much for her, and she just wanted me to get out, which was a lot. It was a big emotional thing, And of course, this was all before the whole Tampa thing. And that was a big emotional thing. But we still kind of were talking and being friends and things like that. So things were okay, but there was tension there. And she needed me to go away, which, you know, I didn't understand then, but I understand now. To me, my whole belief has always been, you know, look, we don't need to be a couple, but we can try to room together for the kids, you know. And that's always been my thoughts. And I think she agrees now, but I think back then it was just too much. Everything was just too much for her, and I completely understand. But going and moving in with this guy who I had dated, who basically essentially cheated on me with her, that broke me once, or at least it bent me. It was really difficult. And then both of them claimed to be my friends. Went over there, and I would try to talk to them about the situation, and they had the audacity to get angry at me, and they just didn't treat me very well for a little while, especially him. In fact, he ended up saying things like, you transgendered on your kids. You are the most selfish person I've ever known. And just calling me a horrible person. And I had to sit there and deal with that, because honestly, I knew this guy, and when I was with him, I didn't expect that I would be sticking with my kids, because my ex-wife had been acting the way she was with me, and I didn't expect that I was going to get through the whole situation and still be able to keep my kids, still be able to even see my kids. I figured, you know, there'd be a huge court battle and I would end up coming out the loser, which happens to many, many trans people. So I was on my way out. I was just on my way to trying to get myself in that mindset, and I dated this guy. This guy, I knew he had some issues. And I'm not going to say what they were, but they weren't huge issues. They were just, you know, issues like mine. Not that he was transgender, but that I knew that he just needed a little bit of extra attention. Kind of a depressed soul, a little bit, and just, you know, he had been through a lot, to say the least. He was in the military and just had seen people die around him, and things were, he had it really rough, and I always felt for him. It was, I always felt like we understood each other because of those, you know, our two things, and I felt like that we were good together, and I think we were good together. But I never expected him to be around my kids very much, you know, because I knew he dealt with these issues. And then when I found out about my ex-wife and my kids going with him, I tried to warn her and I tried to tell her, don't go with him, but she wouldn't listen to me. And that's why I had to come to Tampa and deal with the situation. I tried to keep a positive attitude from the beginning, coming over here, but it was too much. It was too much, and especially, I don't know, he started being really horrible with me. Actually was threatened many times. There was physical altercations that happened. want to go into too many details because I don't know how much to say. You know, I don't want to say everything that happened. And see, that's the whole point right there, is that this is how I've been. This is how I've been. I've been pretty much in an abusive relationship. In a gigantic drama, horrible, I don't know, just a very big, horrible, abusive relationship triangle. And I'm smiling about it, but it was pretty bad. And there was a lot of good times too. There always is. There's always good times, you know, and with someone like that, which, you know, makes you want to not, you know, to not say anything. But it was some bad times, a lot of bad times, and the bad times were really, really bad, really, really bad. And I think a lot of it had to do with the extra stress of having the kids around, which he wasn't used to, and I knew was going to happen. But I had no idea how to stop it, because being transgender and trying to stop it against a mother who has no previous record of having any type of problems, you know, what was I supposed to do? You know, there was nothing I could do but go and protect my kids, and that was it. And so that's what I did. That's what I've been doing the past year, pretty much since I made my last transition video and made those last videos. And when I made those last videos, it was before things got really bad. I was really hopeful, because I was just like, yeah, this is a messed up situation, but you know what? I'm gonna put everything behind me and be positive, and yeah, it just didn't work. And so now I'm telling the story. There's so much more to tell, and you know, I've told my boss over at Sam's Club about it, and she's like, wow, you know, you could write a book. And I'm like, yeah, I've always wanted to, so probably eventually I will get around to that if I ever have the time, which I had to come out of school for a little while, but I'm going back in a few days to school. I'm gonna continue not with engineering but with accounting, so there's good things happening all around. I'm not continuing with engineering because I'm, after about a year and a half having no contact with calculus and physics, I'm a little bit scared to go back to engineering. So I decided I'd go with accounting. I've taken an accounting course so far, and I must say the introductory accounting course, which everybody complains about as being really hard, it's much easier than the introduction to engineering, believe me. So I know that I've got this. I can do it. And, you know, being here with my 2 kids, and again, because of the move, I had to, I'm not working anymore, at least I won't be. I put in my 2 weeks notice so I could go back to school and be here with the kids, and look for a job that's a little bit closer to home. But yes, so I think that things are better. Like, yes, I'm okay and trying to open back up again, and I think these videos really helped me at the beginning to open up, because I was just able to talk and just get things out there. And now y'all know what's been going on. Trying to think if there's anything else really. I am getting my notary license so I can hopefully get a better job. One step to getting a better job. Also, I colored my hair red. If you didn't notice yet, it's red. And oh yes, I did start dating. I did start dating another person. I started dating another guy who just means the world to me. He's been my hero through the past whole abusive triangle thing. Him getting kind of upset at times at knowing what was going on, but you know, obviously, you know, the whole thing had to be played very delicately to move on, and you know, eventually, like I said, like my ex-wife was with him for a little while, and now, you know, after a while, after seeing how things were and actually being a victim herself, she moved on. You know, she hasn't found anybody else yet, but you know, we became closer, a little bit closer. We have a good friendship, and I think we're all right now. I think we're fine, and we're here with the kids. Found a new apartment. We're doing all right, and I just feel like I'm going around in circles with the stuff that I'm saying, but there's been a lot that's happened, and I've just kind of fallen out of being able to, I feel, express myself. So, like I said, I have her, I have my kids, I have my boyfriend who's been away on a trip for a little while, and I'm really excited because he's going to be coming home soon, and I'm going to get to see him probably tomorrow, so I'm really excited about that. And there's a lot of good stuff going on, and just I want to make more videos, and I said that last time, but hopefully this will not be the final video, and I say that every time. That's gonna be kind of like my catchphrase or something like that. Hopefully this is not the last video. And so yeah, I intend to make more videos. I intend to keep blogging. I intend to write a book. I intend to keep transitioning, and there will be an update once I feel a little bit like I'm still coming off that whole health issue that I had, and once I feel a little bit better, I'll probably do another transition video, and or maybe not a transition video, but do another update video, physical update, so you can kind of see everything, see how I look now. I look a little bit different, but not too different, because like I said, there was some hormonal issues in between. The whole, I do have insurance thing, and I do have insurance, but it's not, you know, that doesn't cover everything. I'm still saving up for my final SRS, which I have a friend that just got SRS, and I'm really happy for her. But I'm extremely happy for her. There's no but to that. I'm very happy for her. But keep on saying but. I'm extremely happy for her. I feel like I'm never going to. I feel like I'm never going to get there because, like, my financial situation and things like that. And things have been pretty tough. So, I don't know what I'm going to do. There's a bunch of surgeries I'd like to get, but I don't, like I said, the SRS, I don't know if I'll ever get there because of my financial situation. There's a bunch of surgeries I'd like to get other than the SRS. For instance, I'd like to go in for a breast augmentation eventually. Not sure if I'll get there. Every time it seems like I've got some money, it's gone. And and it's because of getting out of situations like this, and just basically, I mean, I was able to save up enough to get a car over at, when I was working at Sam's Club, because I lived right next to Sam's Club before. I worked real hard and saved my money, and was able to buy a car. Saved up about $1,000 and bought myself a really crappy car, but it runs really well for being really crappy. And it took me about 6 months to do that, 6-7 months to do that. And I'm really proud of myself for doing that. But moving over here, like, I had no money left over. I didn't even have enough money to pay everything once we moved, which is why I decided to quit, and we're gonna drop the babysitter and I'm gonna watch the kids. So I'm gonna be broke again. Probably gonna drop my health insurance, unfortunately, but at least now I've got the doctor. I've been to the doctor, I have my prescription, and all I need to do is just pay for those things, which I should be able to accomplish. As far as the rest of everything else goes, the SRS, the breast augmentation, everything else, I don't know. It kind of makes me upset sometimes, makes me a little bit depressed, thinking, you know, I've been doing this for 2 years now, and who knows, I still have no idea, like, no timeline, and I've tried to establish one a bunch of times, but things just keep on happening. Anyways, if you enjoy this channel and you appreciate what I've done here, please keep on checking out my videos, and if you'd like to contribute to my transition, I do have a transition fund. It's called the JWT Girl Transition Fund. It's on GoFundMe. I will put a link up underneath the video here, and if you'd like to donate, I've already had a few donations on there, which is really, really great, and I'm very thankful for those. If you'd like to donate, go ahead and do that. If you donate $100, I will mention you by name, on this video, on whatever, you know, my next video is after you donate. Right now I've had donations from a few anonymous people, people that, you know, put their name up and don't want to be mentioned, put their name as anonymous, and so I can't really say who my donations have been from just yet, but I've had like three donations of more than $100, so that's been really great, and I thank those people, whoever they are. I know who one of them is, but the others I'm not too sure. I have no idea who they are, and I thank those people for their generous donations. And if you'd like to donate to the JWT Girl Fund, my transition fund, you can go to the link below. and donate. It would be very helpful to me. And I will continue making videos and continue doing my blog and doing my thing here. And I thank you guys for checking me out. You guys have a good night.